everybody? It's Coach Phil, and welcome to another episode of Deep in the Game. And as you can see, we have this season's most outstanding rookie from the Edmonton Elks. I'm talking about Nick Anderson. Man, Nick, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on.
Man, no problem, man. No problem, man. You were balling this season, man. 111 tackles, 5 special teams tackles, 1 interception, 3 sacks. You made a name for yourself and stepped out the porch, man. So what was going on, man? What got you all, playing well, man, and all that? What was up with you, man?
Man, it's really crazy just going through the season and looking back at the season that I had, the numbers that I was able to put up. Just the love for the game, man. Like everybody knows my situation, knowing that, I went to New Orleans Saints, ended up getting cut, sat at home for about, I want to say nine long months. And just really understood to appreciate the game, and understood that the game was a gift and it could easily be taken away from you. So just the opportunity to play again, I wanted to take advantage of it. And so going up to the CFL and just, getting an opportunity to ball again, I just took advantage of it, fell in love with it all over again, man, like a little kid. Man, that's ultimately the testimony of my season. I never went out there and, said, okay, I want to get this many tackles or I want to get this many sacks. I just went out there each and every game trying to have the best game and have the most fun. And I think you can see that with the level of play, just my energy, my tenacity with playing the game. I was just out there having fun, man. And that's really the place that I want to have my career for the years to come, is just be a baller that just enjoys the process and enjoys the game.
See, when you talk about enjoying the game, man, a lot of times guys, they come up to the CFL and they look down on it at times, but you have to have a big appreciation. You mentioned the love for the game. You don't take it for granted. Your journey is one that I did my research, man. You came out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, man. Start there and tell us, man, about your upbringing and just the journey for you.
Yeah, man. So like you said, I'm a kid from Vicksburg, Mississippi. Vicksburg maybe got a population of about 30,000 people. So it's not a huge place. Just grew up always, in school, in the community, big family guy, always, catching with my family. That's usually the people that I was around growing up. And it's always just been academics and football. As a kid, it was academics, football, academics, hand in hand. Ended up graduating number 3 in my class, coming out of high school. Didn't have that many offers because of my height. So that has always kind of played a role in, my football stuff and comes as far as being an obstacle to overcome. But like I said, just being a kid from Vicksburg, Mississippi, man, you just get it out the mud. Just play football and go to school, and that was my life, man.
I saw that, man, you played linebacker and running back, man.
Yeah.
Who were some of your inspirations growing up as playing linebacker and playing running back?
Most definitely, man. I think when I was little, my favorite linebacker was Clay Matthews. My little league team growing up was the Vicksburg Packers. So naturally, I grew up a Packer fan, and it's crazy because Edmonton's colors are green and gold, and that was, my little league team colors. But yeah, man, Clay Matthews was the guy that I really admired as a kid. And, you got your greats like Ray Lewis, and you got the Luke Kuechly's that I watched, and things like that. But Clay Matthews was that guy that I remember, like, doing his celebrations, and, he was the guy that always stood out to me, the long hair. And he was a dog, edge rusher. And so that was probably the linebacker that I looked up to the most. As far as running backs that really stood out to me, I'd say Ezekiel Elliott. Like coming out of high school, Ezekiel Elliott, when he was at Ohio State and then he left and got drafted to the Cowboys, he was that running back that I really looked up to in high school.
Hey, Clay Matthews, that's the name right there, man. Yeah, I remember Clay, man. At one point, he was unstoppable, man. He had the game, man. And that's something that I noticed with your game, man. You are heavy on the tackles. You get sideline to sideline. You're able to make plays. For you, what is it, I guess, how do I put this? For you, is the game just about free-flowing? Is it just adjusting to everything, or is it just, hey, I know I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not the tallest, I'm not the strongest, but what is it about your game that made you take from Clay Matthews and just may mold you into who you are?
Just overall, not even just Clay, but different linebackers that I've seen play the game well, such as like Fred Warner, Demario Davis, even just being on the same team as Demario and seeing the way that he does things. I feel like I'm always that player that is like a sponge, and I try to take things from everybody's game, and if it's something that I can benefit from, add it to my tool belt, and not just position when it comes to linebackers. I tell everybody like playing will linebacker this past year, it really was like a strong safety outside linebacker hybrid for me. And so I spent a lot of times talking to the DBs and asking them and trying to peep their game and take little whatnots from them in order to make my game better. And that really was a thing. Like it got to a point there in the season, I used to leave linebacker in Indy to go over there and do stuff with the DBs to try to add that to
Mm-hmm.
my tool belt. And that's just been my thing the whole my whole career is just trying to learn so much because linebacker is that position where you do a little bit of everything. You really have to be that Swiss Army knife. You got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to have that IQ level of play to play smart. You got to be able to line guys up. You got to be able to rush the passer. You got to be able to cover. It asks you to do a lot in that position. And so you got to take something from everybody. And that's just one of the things that I try to do. I try to learn from everybody. I try to add things to my tool belt. I try to put myself in, not so easy situations so that way I'm able to adjust and grow my game because I feel like in order to get better, you got to have growing pains. You got to put yourself in, compromising situations in order to get better. And that's really just the thing that I try to do. And it what takes my game to another level because I've always been, the run stopping linebacker, gonna make tackles, but I want to be that guy that gets sacks, get picks, forces fumbles, knock the ball out. And that's where I'm really trying to take my game, and that's what I'm trying to get it to.
See, I like what you said about just adjusting to everything, man. You're willing to go work with DBs. A lot of times, guys, they want to just work with their core group of guys.
Right.
But being in the CFL, man, you've been playing the will linebacker, like you said. You got to be a little bit of everything. You got to be like a DB. You got to be a hybrid. And as you can see from the film, man, I watched the film. You are all over the place and making plays, man. So for you, going to Jones College, man, what was it like at Jones College for you? And also take us through your time at Tulane.
Most definitely, man. So like I said, I didn't really get the offers that I really wanted coming out of high school. I had some decent offers from a couple HBCUs, a couple, smaller FCS schools. But I really just always had the dream of like playing big time Division I football, especially being somebody that's from Vicksburg, Mississippi. You're right in the middle of SEC country. So you got Tennessee up north of you, you got Mississippi State right there. Ole Miss right there. You got LSU, Alabama. And so it's like, man, that's the highest level of football. I want to be on that level. And so I really just said, you know what? Despite me having academics, despite me having the offers that I have, I want to take the gamble of going junior college to get re-recruited. Like I wanted to bet on myself and say, you know what? I believe that I can play with the big dogs. So I'm going to give myself another shot of letting people see that I can do that. So I went to Jones. And when I say Jones was one of the best experiences that I've ever had because going to the JUCO route really establishes a level of hard work and a level of character and grit inside of you because you understand that like you're surrounded by people that's trying to reach the same goals as you. And so it makes y'all a lot closer. And so, I tell everybody, man, my guys, even though I was only there for 6 months, the relationships that I have from junior college, they stand to this day. I'm still close to some of those guys to this day because all of us is really getting it out the mud, man. Like in junior college, you don't have NIL, like you don't have all this other stuff. It's like, yeah, we used to pack up in like one car, go to Walmart, everybody holding on their groceries in their lap, going back to the dorms. And it's really just taught me that brotherhood, that resiliency. And I enjoyed every step of the way going to junior college. And then just coming to Tulane, the biggest thing for me when it came to Tulane was just the culture, the city of New Orleans, the culture as far as what we were establishing at Tulane. I could tell there was a program on the rise. I could tell that it was a situation where I can come in and be a key piece and really grow. And my linebacker coach was dynamic. I still talk to him to this day. Coach Moose, one of the best coaches I've ever had in my life. And I could tell that, he really cared about his players. He really developed his players. Like he was a smart coach to really teach you the game and prepare you for the next level. And Coach Fritz was a winning coach. He was a coach that was built on discipline, toughness, effort. And they just checked every list for me, man. And, wasn't far from home. And I came down to Tulane, and the rest is history.
There it is right there, y'all. Y'all hear that? Because the JUCO. Well, tell us some funny. Like, was there anything? What was the difference between like the practices between Jones College and Tulane? Because with JUCO, you guys, like you said, you guys don't really have all the amenities that the big time schools had, but there's dogs, man. It's a
Yeah.
dog. It's a dog eat dog competition out there. So tell us about the difference between the practices, man.
Overall, I want to say that like the practices, like obviously we didn't have some of the equipment that we had at Tulane, when it came to things like that. But Jones was pretty much up to date compared to a lot of junior colleges. Like Jones was one of those nicer junior colleges. Like the dorms were real nice, the campus was real nice. So it wasn't no run down place as you'll see some junior colleges is tough. But Jones was one of the higher end, upper level junior colleges. And that's why you look at Jones, they shoot out D1 prospects. I mean, right now it's kind of tough because of the transfer portal. But prior to the transfer portal being the way it is, Jones was sending out, I want to say 12 to 13 guys to the next level each year. And so it was one of those programs right under East Mississippi that had that reputation for like, you go to Jones, you're going to a Division I school. But overall, like that was one of the things too. My head coach at Jones, Coach Buckley, he just retired, but he was one of those coaches that like, you're going to practice hard, you're going to work hard, like you're going to grind hard, like nobody's going to give you anything, nobody's going to feel sorry for you just because, you had all these offers and had to come to junior college, or you didn't have offers and had to come to junior college. At the end of the day, you here, you're going to work and we're going to win. And going to Tulane, Coach Fritz was kind of like the same way. Coach Fritz was that, hard nosed coach that you're going to come in, you're going to put in the work. Nobody's bigger than the program. You're going to earn your stripes and things like that. And I feel like just having two coaches like that really just helped solidify my mindset and just having the mentality to go out and get it. Like, go out and get it. Don't expect nothing from nobody. Go out there and take from everybody, and just have that approach when it comes to the game. And I feel like you got to have that approach when it comes to the game if you want to be the best, especially being on the defense side of the ball. I always say offensive guys, they a little bit softer, but defensive guys, you got to have that grit. You got to have that dog mentality. And so having two head coaches while I was at Jones and while I was at Tulane really kind of helped instill that in me even more, really just played the level of my success and who I am today.
What did you guys run at Tulane defensive wise? And talk to us about scheme and what helped you understand the game at the high level?
Well, definitely. So, like the first couple of years I was at Tulane, we were under Jack Curtis, and we ran a lot of match coverage. We ran like a true 3-4 box, had an overhang nickel, and then on the boundary we had like a stand up edge, but he wasn't really in the box. And then we played with like a 4-eye, a zero nose, and then another 4-eye. Played a lot of match, a lot of quarters coverage. Played a little cover 3 with Coach Curtis, but that really wasn't his thing. He was a man guy, and that's why we had a lot of corners during his time that ended up going to the NFL because they were lockdown man coverage corners. And so I was able to play up under his defense, enjoyed that. He blitzed a lot. I liked that. And then my last year at Tulane, Coach Hampton ended up coming back to Tulane and becoming a defense coordinator. And my last year at Tulane, we ran kind of more of that 3-4 look, but we also did a lot of spot drop, a lot of cover 3, a lot of cover 8, a lot of disguise coverages. And it was the best of both worlds because I was able to play in the defense to where we blitzed a lot, we played a lot of man. Then I also was able to play in the defense like we playing a lot of zone. And then Coach Hampton did a great job my senior year, really kind of using me as a Swiss Army knife. My last year at Tulane, I played stand-up DN in some packages. I played outside linebacker, on the ball linebacker, as far as like playing a true Sam linebacker. I played wheel a little bit. I covered in the slot a little bit. So we did a lot of different things my last year at Tulane to really just give me that edge to come up and be in the CFL and be able to say, okay, like I can rush the passer because towards the end of the season this year, I was able to rush the pass and get a couple sacks because I'm like, okay, like this is what I just did in college. So I have the experience. And so I feel like overall, like even being at Jones, we ran like a 4-3, 4-2-5 defense, and then transitioned to Tulane, being in that 3-4, and then my last year being able to be in nickel packages. Each year, I was able to do something more to where now it's not really defense I can adjust and play a role in.
And I love that, man, because with 3-4, you got to be able to get off the edge. You got to be able to fill the gap because you're already at a disadvantage with the
Right.
back 3D linemen. So, and then your 4-eye, oh my God, man,
Yeah,
that's
you in that 3-4, you got to have them dogs in front of you, and that was the thing. When we was in Coach Curtis' defense, like he recruited very well, so we had like our zero tech was a dog. Like he gonna take up double teams, sometimes triple teams, and let you know be able to work your magic around him. So, like I said, I've been in a lot of different defenses, and I feel like that's good because now it's like no defense I can't play in.
I like that. I like that. So you decided to declare for the 2023 draft. You went undrafted. What was it like playing? You got signed by the New Orleans Saints. What was it like playing for the Saints, man? And take us through that right there.
It was a blessing, man. You know, being a kid from Mississippi, you know, having watched the Saints, you know, my whole life, and then being also at Tulane University and being playing college ball in the same city as the Saints play in. You know, it was kind of a dream come true. That's the team that I wanted to go to. I told everybody in the pre-draft, like, you know, I want to go to the Saints. Even on even on my pro day, I wore a Sam Mills jersey
Mm.
during my interviews, and I wore that. Also, trying to make a statement as well. You know, trying to make a statement that yeah, I may be a guy that don't have the measurables that you're looking for, but I'm a dog, just like Sam was. And so everybody knew that I wanted to go to the Saints. So to have that come into fruition and that happen was a true blessing. You know, despite me getting released, it was I played for the Saints, and not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that they walked through those doors or put on their helmet or wore their logo. And so I'm blessed to have had that. I'm grateful for it. And it's just the whole process of being out there with guys like Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Alvin Kamara, Derek Carr, like just being able to see those guys and practice against those guys is just one of those things where the little kid inside of you gets fulfilled because like, man, like I'm really doing this with some great guys like future Hall of Famers. And so like I said, man, my time there was nothing short of a blessing, and I'm very grateful for
So how did you end up in the CFL, brother?
it. That's a great question, man. That's a great question. Man, so I ended up getting released from the Saints, and I got a call. I'll never forget. You know, it's September. I was in Dallas, and I got a call from one of the scouts for Edmonton, and he was like, we have you on our neg list. And it was like, we want you to come up here and ball right now. Like, they had some injuries, and he was like, if you get your passport, we can get you up here, get you adjusted, and then we can put you on the field immediately because, we kind of need you. You're a little thin right now. And being a dummy at the time, I was like, you know what, I'm still going to wait and see what the NFL, what's going to happen there. See if a team calls me, see if I get on the practice squad somewhere. And looking back, I really wish I would have went ahead and went up there and played because that was the most important thing, like just going up there and getting in some pads. But I kind of put it in my back pocket. And then once the CFL season ended, Coach Chris Jones, I'm going to forever be grateful for that man. That man is like he gave me another opportunity, truly. Like he came all the way down when the season ended. He came down and met me in Jackson, Mississippi, introduced himself, told me about the CFL, and really just broke everything down to me in person. Told me, he was like, "You're a baller. You should be playing right now in the NFL, but things happen for a reason. But I want to give you an opportunity to come up to Edmonton and do your thing." He was like, "I watched your film for the past year and a half. We had somebody at your pro day. You didn't see him, but we had somebody down there at your pro day. Like, I really want you to come up here and ball and play." And I still was, a little bit hesitant about it. Was like, okay, I'm gonna do the XFL thing and try to stay here in the States and try to get back to the NFL. Because one thing you learn as being a young player, like that's the only thing that your vision is on. Like, especially come out of college and the guy that grew up in the States watching NFL, you don't really realize how good the CFL is because it gets blinded by the NFL for obvious reasons. And so I still was just like, I don't know about the CFL. We're gonna try to do this XFL thing. Lo and behold, the XFL ends up doing the merger, and they only keep like 8 teams, and each team is saying that they're ultimately full. Like they not taking no more guys. And at that point, my agent was like, look, hey, CFL all you got. And so I was like, man, at first I was kind of fighting my agent on. I was like, man, like Canada, I've never been to Canada. Like, I don't know anything about Canada aside from maple syrup and it's cold. Like, I don't really, and Drake's from there. Like, I literally was dumbfounded. I had never watched a CFL game. Knew the CFL was up there, but like I said, people aren't really educated on it, and I really hate that. And so I was ignorant to it. And so I said, you know what? It took me about 2 weeks, and I was like, okay. And then I Googled Edmonton. I was like, man, I'm going to the North Pole, man. Like, why do I got to go to the farthest team away? Like, this team is all the way up north. Like, why? Like, I was literally being a brat about it for about 2 weeks, and then I was like, man, look, either you gonna take this opportunity and go play ball, or you gonna be at the crib. Like, it's one of those things. Like, man, like, come on now, like you got to take this opportunity. And so I really just settled in after I signed my contract in like March of last year, and then I went to work. I had already been working. I'm one of those guys. I never really stopped. Once the Saints cut me, I was getting it every day because I'm trying to stay prepared, not knowing what opportunity gonna come. And
Right.
so once I signed that contract, it was like, okay, like this is your date. You leaving on May 6th. May 6th, you better be ready to touch down. And so like I just got after it, man. And I remember saying before I went up there, I was like, man, this is gonna be a great year. Like this is gonna be one of those years that, I really proved myself because, you just had a chip on your shoulder, getting cut from the NFL and, having somebody basically say, like, yeah, like, hope you find a career somewhere else. So it's one of those things like, nah, I'm gonna show you, like I'm gonna prove that I'm still who I am. And just had it on my mind, man, to come up there in the CFL and just tell myself, man, be where your feet are. When I got up to Canada, I just embraced everything. I really just said, if it's meant for me to go back to the NFL, then that's going to come. But as of right now, you're a CFL player. And I went into it with open arms, man. Like, literally would try everything, poutines. Like, I embraced everything Canada had to offer, man, and enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. I'm still telling. I told somebody yesterday, man. Like that's an amazing country. Like
Mhm.
it's an amazing country, and just being in the CFL was a blessing because we got to travel all over the country in a span of 6 months. So each time we going on a away game, we dropping the bags off at the hotel. I'm trying to see where's the nearest restaurant where I can try some different food, or what's the nearest tourism spot so I can see something because it's like I'm not from there. So I was able to really just see the silver lining in everything. And it opened my eyes, man. It opened my eyes to what the CFL has to offer, from the fans and the way that they show love to just the opportunities that's just out there. And it really just became like a second home for me, man. And being able to just play ball, like that was the biggest thing. Like CFL gave me an opportunity to play ball because at the end of the day, I just want to play ball, man. Like that's still the little kid in me. Like I just want to go out there and play football because I understand like it's not promised to nobody. You know, it's a blessing to get to each game because somewhere out there somebody didn't play their last game. So the fact that I get to show up to this stadium, put my helmet on, lace my cleats up, and just get one more snap, oh yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of it every time. And so I'm really grateful for the whole CFL thing. And even looking back, how I didn't want to do it at first, it just shows one of those things because I'm a man of faith. It shows like, a lot of times God will humble you and he'll take you a certain route just to show you that he has something even better than what you imagine in store for you. And so I'm really just grateful for the league, man, grateful for the opportunity, grateful for Coach Jones, and then everybody that just played a role in just keeping me focused, keeping me grounded, and, just keeping me centered on keep going and not giving up on my dream.
That's amazing, man. I love hearing when people talk about uh, going to Canada for the first time. I had the
Yeah.
same experience when I first went to Canada, and it's like and I say this jokingly, we as Black folks, we kind of scary. We don't really step out of our comfort
Right,
zones, but
right, man. We don't.
we some scary folk at times. But to go up there, here you say you go up there, man. You tried everything. I did the same thing, and when I
Yeah,
first went to Edmonton, there, man, it's a fun city when you
it
actually know
is.
how to maneuver and you know where to go and find a
Right.
little hole in the wall places to eat. You get food slamming. Food is
Yeah.
amazing in Edmonton, in Canada in general. But one thing I like about you, man, and I noticed this about you, man, this season for you, you're a big opportunity about Preparation meeting opportunity, as they
Right.
say. You prepared. It seemed like you were prepared for everything, and then you seized the opportunity. You had a really great team around you. Not saying you weren't, the dog out there, but you had some dogs with you as well, man. You had Lou, you had Oakman, you had Niles. Shout out to Niles. I had him on here. You've had a lot of great guys around you, man. And I love the team. The team was so damn talented. What was the season like for you as far as playing with them? What's the environment like? And set the record straight on like just what was the season like for everybody in general.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, man, like we had a great football team. We were loaded. Like our record really doesn't show the level of talent that we had on the team. And those first 7 games, it was just so much going on outside of just the guys to where the fact that those 7 games came down to field goals or less than that, it just shows you that we truly had a great football team. It's just we had to get it operationally right in order to really have that level of success. And I just set the record straight. A lot of people put that, on Coach Jones, and I can't really say that it's Coach Jones' fault. He took the heat for a lot of things, but man, I'm appreciative of that man. That man gave me opportunity. Like he took a risk on me. A guy that had never played in the CFL, was a rookie from America that, played at a small school like Tulane. And he said, we're gonna give you opportunity to go out here and earn a starting role. Like, so I'm gonna forever be grateful for him. But to say that we were able to flip the script after going 0-7, which is hard to do, and then go 7-4 in the last 11 games, like it really shows the trend of what we had going on in Edmonton. And like you said, man, we had ballers. Like Trey was a baller. MBT McCloy was a baller. Like my boy Kevin, he finna go to Toronto and play running back, but he was a baller. And then we had Leak. Leak was a baller. Then Jay Rank came in the middle of the season. He was a baller, and he gonna continue to be a baller. We had a lot of rookies on our team that were ballers. The defense had about 3-4 rookies that were balling starters. And you got guys that's like veteran presence like Niles. He's been a leader up there in tackles for the past 2-3 seasons. Then you got a vet like Lou that then played in the NFL, then played in the CFL for 10 years, and he's back there balling. Then you had Chris Moncrief, added him on the other side. He was a baller. Then you got Sean Oakman. Like the team was stacked. Like people don't realize our team was really stacked. And so like even just watching the playoffs and watching the Grey Cup is like, man, like we was just like 1 or 2 games away from making the playoffs. And I know we would have made the playoffs, man. We would have won. Like it's no way around it. And so it's just one of those things, man. It's just the nature of professional sports. It's just everything has to work in alignment for it to really click for real. But I'm grateful to see where things go with the future. Very optimistic about everything, and like, man, if I'm blessed to get back up in there, Edmonton next year, we chasing that cup. Like that's the standard. That's nothing under that. Like it's not gonna be, oh, let's make the playoffs because we haven't did this in so many years. It's not gonna be, okay, let's get over 500 when it comes to win totals. It's, man, win this Grey Cup, especially when it being in the province, man. Like there's no way the Grey Cup come in the province to Calgary of all places and we don't go get it. Like, and we got the talent to do that. It's just, everybody got to lock in, everybody got to focus, everybody really has to zone in on handling their business and chasing it. But like I said, man, like that team was loaded, and the record doesn't really show the talent that we had on that team, man. I'm just grateful to be a part of it, man. Like especially being a rookie and having that many guys that have been doing it at a high level up there around you, like it was great to see, man. And like I'm so grateful for guys like Chris Moncrief, uh, Lou, even my boy Kai Gray on the outside, and Darius Bratton. Those guys play with me in the boundary. Like I'm grateful for the guys that I was able to play with in my rookie year.
A lot of people, and I'm gonna start. The first thing I'm gonna say is a lot of people, and I was one of those people before. I was so ignorant when I first was doing the CFL, I was so critical of Coach Jones. And the person that kind of I reached out to me and we built a great relationship now, he let me know about Coach Jones, Odell Willis.
Odell, yeah. Odell, that's my dog, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
gee, man, he told me, he was like, no, you got to understand, the players
Yeah.
the guys love Coach Jones,
Yeah.
especially defensive guys. He's a
Right.
defensive guy.
Right.
But the misconception was not when I met Coach Jones, I was like, man, this dude, he's a really good dude.
He is.
Like,
He's
folks
like
need
he's
to
a great guy.
understand that.
Like he's a great guy. But I mean, like at the end of the day, when it comes to like sports in general, especially on a professional level, it's a lot of business that gets attached to it. And so when it comes to business, that can sour some relationships to where people think somebody's a bad person. It's like, man, Coach Jones is a great guy. Like
Mhm.
great guy. But he's just one of those coaches that is a down south coach. So like he gonna get it about you. Like you gonna work. He believe in hard work and getting it about you. And a lot of people run from that. But I'm one of those guys, like I said, junior college I had a tough coach. Tulane I had a tough coach. So going and being with Coach Jones, like, okay, I'm used to this. Like, but it's just one of those things, man. But no, I'm so grateful for that, man. Like I called him before I even went up to Vancouver to accept my award and just thanked him because I'm like, Coach, without you, I don't even get this award. Like without you, I'm not even up here. So no, I'm not gonna ever speak down on your name. Just the man in me. I'm never gonna speak down on another man. But it's just like, Coach, like I appreciate you. I had to call him and tell him, nah, Coach, I appreciate you. Even when he was let go in Edmonton, I went up to the facility before he left, and I was like, "Nah, Coach, like, thank you." And he told me, literally, in like week 6 when they let him go, he was like, "You're gonna be great. Like, you're gonna be great. I believe in you. Like, don't let this stop anything that you're doing. Keep going." Like he always knew, he always believed in Nick Anderson. He was always a Nick Anderson fan. And I'm just big on loyalty, forever loyal to people that believe in me, and so I'm forever grateful for Coach Jones for real.
That's amazing, man. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, man. So as we wind it down, man, the last thing I'm gonna ask you before we get into the rapid fire questions, man. Obviously, winning most outstanding rookie, we met, man. What did that mean to you, winning most outstanding rookie? And when did you kind of feel like, hey, I can kind of win this thing right here, man?
Man, it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me simply because to know that everything that I've been through that past year and know that at one point I was literally in New Orleans thinking about giving up on the game, thinking about walking away after I got cut from the Saints and, just giving up on it. But to know that all my hard work paid off, to know that all my resiliency and determination paid off, it was just motivating, man. And just felt really blessed. Like everybody kept asking me, like, aren't you proud of yourself? I'm like, man, I'm not even proud. It's just I'm grateful, man, because it could be literally anybody. And I just feel like that was one of the things that God really wanted to show me in allowing me to get released and have to kind of climb my way back up to understand that this is a blessing. This is a gift. Like what I'm able to do is something that I should never ever take for granted and something that I should always be grateful for. And so just getting that trophy like was just one of the centerpiece moments of like, man, like God is good. Like God is amazing. And I'm so grateful that he chose me. Like he chose me for this position. He chose me to stand in these shoes. He chose me to be the guy that represents him on this level. And then overall just grateful for the experience, man. And even though I was rookie of the year, I mean that's just one of those things that put the notch on my belt. I'm chasing more. Never gonna be complacent with just that. I feel like you only as good as what you recently did, and that season's over. But just grateful for everything, man.
That's great, man. Again, congratulations on winning that award, man. So, ready for the rapid fire questions, my brother?
Let's do it.
All right, first question. You are a man of faith. What is your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse is actually right here, and it is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. And it says, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It hurries toward the goal of fulfillment. It will not fail. Even though it may delay, wait patiently for it because it will certainly come and it will not delay. That's my favorite Bible verse because that Bible verse really just stood out to me during my trials and tribulations to really understand that whatever you seek in life and whatever you're really focused on in life, don't give up on it. You know, a lot of times, you know, you ask God for something, but you still worry about it. And if you're going to worry, then don't pray. If you're going to pray, then don't worry. And that Bible verse really just speaks to me and resonates with me that, like, you know, God already got what's yours out there. You just got to understand that you're going to achieve it. It's going to happen. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just keep on keeping on. And so, yeah, that's the one that really stands out to me. That's my verse.
I'm at. Which part of the Bible is that, man? Tell me the scripture, not the scripture itself, but just that one. I like that. Where can I find that?
Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3.
Okay, I remember that one. I remember that one. All right, a little more fun question, man. What you bumping in your trunk, man? What you be listening to?
Man, I've been on I've been on Big X the Plug heavy lately, man. Even though Drake is my number one, Drake's been my number one listen artist for the past, I don't know, decade. But Big X the Plug and I gotta say Big X the Plug and Gunna is what I've been on heavily lately.
I like that. I like that, man. Favorite Drake song?
Favorite Drake song? Oh my God. So many.
Go to at any point in time. You can just throw that on.
I'm gonna say Energy.
Mm-hmm.
Energy probably my favorite Drake song.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Even though Drake took a L, So, favorite food, man. I know you're from Mississippi, man. Good Southern food, man. What's your meal?
I'm gonna say seafood is my favorite food, but just knowing myself, I'm gonna go with like fried chicken, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like they good soul food, like fried chicken, collard greens, corn, sweet potatoes. Like that's gonna hit home every time, man. But aside from that, I say seafood, and it's only seafood because I'm in New Orleans. New Orleans is like full of culture, full of that good Creole cuisine, and so I'm gonna go with seafood and soul food.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm a seafood guy my damn self.
Yeah.
Number three, number four. Who are some of your favorite teammates, man? Who be having you laughing? Who's somebody?
Oh man. So we're gonna go with obviously we're gonna go with my teammates in Edmonton. So my favorite teammates while I was in Edmonton, I'm gonna go with Elliott Brown. That's one of my dogs. Pelly, Big Pelly. That's one of my favorite teammates. I gotta go with Darius Bratton. My guys in the boundary, I talk to those guys every day. So it was like Darius Bratton and Kai Gray. Really just my whole defense, man. Like even my other rookies like Cordell Jackson and then Darius Bynum. Like all those guys. Really the whole defense was like my guys. It really wasn't nobody that I wasn't cool with. I'm just one of those guys like I'm gonna be cool with everybody. So my favorite teammate is probably really everybody. It wasn't really no teammate that I really didn't even see eye to eye with for real. And then you have Lou. Lou kind of the old guy in the group. Lou the old guy in the group. So it took some time to kind of get used to Lou because Lou he'll pop off quick. So it took some time. It took some time to really get used to him, but Lou my dog, man. Like Lou really like his big bro. Like he took me up under his wing throughout the season. Really, helped me better my game so much, man. Like he really like grabbed me like and said, you know what, like I see you a baller. I know you are. Like we gonna tweak and we gonna get you right. And he did that, and I'm very appreciative.
Man, it's great, man. Lou's a kid. Lou is something, man.
Yeah,
God, Lou,
character, man.
What I character,
man.
Probably the most funniest, but in intimidating. Because when I interviewed him, I was like, "Dang, Lou, good people," but he can be intimidating if you don't mess with you.
He can. Like he has a strong personality. He has a very, very strong personality. But when you really get to know him, he don't mean no harm, man. He's just one of those guys that he's an old guy. He gonna hate me for saying that, but he one of those guys like he handled. He in that position in his career, like he been doing it for so long. He just seen so much, and it's like he trying to continue to do it. So he's gonna take things a lot more serious because it's like, man, I've been doing this thing for a long time. And so once you really understand that and understand his perspective, you start to see like, man, he's a cool dude, man. That's my dog.
Good people, man. Everybody good over there with me, man. I would say, man, last question for you, man. What is the expectation for you, for the team, everything? I know obviously winning the Grey Cup, but where do you feel like you can get better as a player, as a person, as a man of God? What's the expectation for you in going to 2025?
Man, just growing myself. Specifically, as far as myself, being a better man spiritually, physically, mentally. That's my biggest thing. I feel like if you ain't getting better, you're getting worse. And so that's one of the things that I really want to harp on this off season. It's not just getting stronger and faster, but really approaching my mental. Make sure the mental's straight. Because if that's one thing we don't really talk about, especially as men. We don't talk about cleaning up their mind, man. That mind can get full of, a lot of different stuff and it can throw you off. And so that's one of the things I really just, focused on this off season and going to the off season, just becoming a better person up top, becoming a better person spiritually in my heart. And then everything else is going to naturally get better. And then also when it comes to the football wise, just, if I'm in the blessed position to be back in Edmonton next year and playing in the CFL, I'm going to challenge myself to be a leader. Because it's no more rookie. That rookie title is now taken off my back. I'm a vet now. It's always one of those things like I want to challenge myself to really step into the building and be a positive influence and a leader. Because the standard, like I said, for the team is a Grey Cup. Like that is the standard. Under that is nothing. The bare minimum is the Grey Cup. And I feel like, coming short of the Grey Cup and not winning the Grey Cup, at that point, the season is going to be a failure. And I'm not really worried about individual accolades. I really wasn't worried about individual accolades this year because I know with team success, the accolades going to come. And so really just focused on, bettering myself this off season. That way, if I'm in a position to be back in Edmonton next year, I'm able to let what I put into myself flow into everybody else and just be that great leader. Because, I've won championship before and that's what it took. It took me getting myself in line. And when I got myself in line, I was able to help carry others and everybody was able to get envision on the main goal. And so that's going to be the biggest thing for me, going to this off season, getting myself right and then touching back down to Edmonton, chasing that cup, man.
Hey, you are in the right place, man. They're all growth the last couple of years, man. They've been successful and keep doing your thing, brother. And we're gonna touch base soon, man. So thank you so much for joining us for an episode of Deep in the Game, man. If there's anything I can do, man, I'm here for you.
Most definitely, man. Appreciate you, man. God bless.
God bless you too, man. Hey, that's been another episode of Deep in the Game. We might be deep in this game, but you got the rules missing. Nick, you take care, and everybody else take care.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. The man's in the house. So crazy. The man's in the house. I'm gonna tell you the truth. The man's in the house. So crazy. The man's in the house.